Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. I hope all of you are doing well, giving your best at the preparation level. It is very important to stay motivated and prepare with full gist for the examination. This is a video session on daily news and editorial analysis dated 27th of September, where I'll be discussing important news and editorial from the Hindu and Indian Express that will definitely give you an added advantage in the examination that you'll be appearing for. So in this session, we'll be looking into the important news and editorial that is relevant for the examination. And before I start the entire discussion, we'll see the preview of the news that I'll be discussing with you for today. For today, the first important news is about the law panel that will be coming up with the simultaneous elections report. We'll see the details. Second important news that ICMR has come up with a survey on the salt intake, which is pretty higher than the WHO recommendations. The third important news is about the center that has come up with softening the rules for angel tax. We'll see the detail about this as well. The other important news is about the cancer patients which is there in India. This has been reported by a reputed journal, Lancet. And we'll conclude the session with editorial, that is with climate change taking the new disease scenario. Something very important that will give you an insight on the part of the changes that is there. So this is all about what we'll be discussing. Now let's get started with a detailed discussion. So for first, the news is about the law panel readiness report on simultaneous election. So recently the law commissions, this is 22nd law commissions that will be coming up with a detailed report, and they will be submitting the report about their opinion that they will be sharing with the ministries. So we'll see the details, what the panel has to say and what are the recent development that is coming from the government of India is in this context, right? So 22nd Law Commission was actually formed, and something that is important to be noted here that this was chaired by Justice Ritu Raj Avasthi. He is the former Chief Justice of the High Court of Karnataka, right? Karnataka state se hai. And something that is very important for you to be noted that the 22nd Law Commissions will submit its report to the Law Ministry when it comes to the part of simultaneous elections. Now, the Commission is likely to frame the tentative time that is expected around 2024 and 29 cycle. Now, this has been completely ruled out कि 2024 में ये implementation नहीं होगी because a census is something which we have to look upon. So census की पूरी तरह से भी काम होनी है, and the things that we are taking into consideration, possibly by 2029 we can expect the implementation that, if everything goes well, simultaneous election will work in India. Now, other than this, what are the recent development that government of India has actually come up with? Now, recently अगर बात करें, यूनियन गवर्नमेंट ने एक पैनल बनाई which is headed by the former President of India, Mr. Ramnath Kovind. He will be exploring for the possibilities of one nation, one election. So this was an actual committee which was formed. I have already made a discussion to this. If you have not watched that video, do check it out. Now, this particular committee which was formed, it's aimed at holding for the one nation, one election की अगर concept की बात करें, they will be looking into the feasibility कि क्या states के साथ साथ जो यूनियन की elections है वो simultaneously हो सकती है या नहीं, इसमें क्या क्या problems हैं, क्या क्या drawbacks है, क्या क्या advantages है और क्या इसके significance होंगे. The move will come a day after the government has recently called for the special session. Special session जब government ने बुलाया था उससे पहले ये committee बनाई गई थी. Something very important that government is also looking forward with the simultaneous elections. And center has been pushing with the idea of simultaneous elections, and this will goes for the Lok Sabha as well as for the state legislative assembly. So this is what the government intention has been when it comes to simultaneous elections. और आपके मेंस एग्जामिनेशन के लिए ये टॉपिक काफी रेलेवेंट है. There can be an analysis questions in the UPSC mains. Now, one nation, one elections की अगर बात करें, so this has been the idea which was mooted previously as also. This is not something ये recent में आई है. It has been on news off and off. और ये law commissions ने भी इसके बारे में recommendations पहले भी दी है. Now, 21st law commissions की अगर बात करें, which was headed by Justice B.S. Chauhan, he has also come up with the draft report on the recommendations for one nation, one elections, right? And the main idea behind the poll is that the Lok Sabha and State Assembly will be held simultaneously. बहुत सारे पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स बताए गए हैं साइमल्टेनियस सिलेक्शंस के. ऑन अ पॉजिटिव साइड इट विल रिड्यूस द कॉस्ट, जो खास करके मैन पावर की भी जो चंक्स है वो बचेगी, जो फाइनेंसेस हैं वो बचेंगे. और नेगेटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस है कि इम्प्लीमेंटेशंस को लेकर के जिस तरह से अप्रूवल चाहिए होगी, एंड फर्दर देयर आर अदर consequences that is associated with it. We have to also look in that part. So this is all about the part of one nation one election. Now moving ahead with other news, ICMR की एक सर्वे है salt intake को लेकर के, and this new study was there by the ICMR. एक study की गई, I'll tell you the details, what are the finding. So this is something important which talks about the salt intake in India, which is pretty higher even what the WHO recommendations is. So कितनी ज़्यादा एक्चुअल इनटेक की जाती है इंडिया में. सो इंडिया एवरेज एन इंडिविजुअल कंज्यूम 8 ग्राम ऑफ सॉल्ट डेली. दिस इज 3 grams हायर देन व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड. सो WHO के मुताबिक, इफ यू सी द पार्ट ऑफ WHO रिकमेंडेशंस, WHO ने 5 grams की रिकमेंडेशंस दी है. नाउ व्हेन इट कम्स टू WHO, इट हैज रिकमेंडेड फॉर 5 grams, but what we are consuming 8 grams. So this is 3 grams higher than the actual recommendations which is there by the WHO. Right, so this is what has been noted, and a survey was undertaken by the ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research ने ये सर्वे किया था, and they have found that the employed sections जो tobacco users हैं, and even those we are elevated with the blood pressures, ये इनकी intake ज़्यादा है. They take around 8 grams of the salt on a daily basis. The salt intake was significantly higher in men compared to women. Men की comparison में, women के comparison में, men were taking the higher number of salts. Now, how to cut down the salt? This is again important. Doctor has been, and the fitness freak has been advising that you need to cut your salt. So to cut it, how you can regulate? See, regulations on the salt can be commercial. जो आप commercial packets, खास करके chips की बात करें, most of us go with the part of the packet food. Every packet food has additional sugar and chips. So definitely you should cut it. You can check the food label. That will help you to get an idea about the total contents of the food. Avoiding sprinkling of extra salt. Even if you're, if you're taking any salt, my personal advice, take the pink salt, which is again on a healthier side. One must go to the overboard or to ensure that the sodium do not fall below the recommendations limit. So WHO की recommendations की बात करें, 5 grams is the recommendations by WHO, and on India the average is 8 gram, which is pretty on the higher side. Now अगर बात करें जो food packets items हैं उनमें क्या क्या चीज़ें ली जाती हैं. So you can see these are the items we have: the namkeen, papad, chips, soya, mustard sauce. This is how we are taking additionally. Preservatives cans के through लेते हैं. Homemade high content foods that is there, and daily products such as pressed and processed cheese and butter. So these are the source of salt that we are taking on daily basis on our diet, right? So indirectly they are coming to our body, जिसके consequences, because of this we are taking the higher intake of the salt. Now other important point to be noted, क्या क्या consequences हो सकते हैं अगर आपने higher intake किया है salt की. You can have a headache, you can have heart attack, and even you can have high blood pressures. तो ये कुछ 3 negative consequences हैं if you are taking with the high salts, right? Now how our body respond to the higher amount of salts? इसके consequences 4 major parts में आप देख सकते हो. First is on the brain. Too much of salt will stain the brain. Brain में impact होती है. उसके बाद heart में, because it can starve the heart from oxygen, so nutrients and other supplies are being impacted. Arteries, too much can raise the blood pressures. So this is on the part of arteries, and in kidney that can have retention of more water. So these are the 4 parts where the excess amount of the salt can impact, and eating this must be avoided. These are the recommendations which doctor also say that you should do not add extra salt in your diet. Now moving ahead with other news, that is the center is coming with the rules where they will be softening or easing the part of the angel tax rules, right? So this is what the government has actually come up. They have said that जो valuations होंगी, चाहे वो non-resident हो, whether they are NR or resident, investor will be looked with the new framework. और खास करके ये जो amendment लाई गई थी वो Finance Act 2023 के हिसाब से की जाएगी. Now what does the Finance Act 2023 has to say? We'll see the details. So what is the Finance Act 2023? It has brought an amendment that bring considerable which receive the non-resident, और इसमें अगर shares की बात करें for the non-resident, This is specifically mentions in the section 56. जो section 56 subsections 2 है income tax act की, उसमें ये चीजें mention की गई है. And even it imposed that जो exceeding fair market value होगी, that will have for the share insurance classifying the income from other sources, right? So the income from other sources will be also taken into consideration. और present की जो valuation है, that is 30%. Government will definitely ease it down. The percentage is not yet clear, but it will be eased down, and this will not be constant at 30%. Now, if you see angel tax timeline की अगर बात करें, it actually started way back in 2012. 16 March को ये start की गई थी. The inception of angel took place. This is a history, right? So this is a timeline. You should take a note, और आपके लिए काफी ज़्यादा relevant भी हो सकती है. March 1st 2013 implementation की गई angel tax की. Then March 2018 we have angel tax exemptions for startup. जो new startup थे उनको exempt किया गया. And in 2023 the proposed amendment were there in the angel tax. So these are some of the proposed changes that has been brought by the government. And just to give you an idea what is angel tax, it's referred in the section 56 subsections 2, जहाँ पे IT rules के through 30% की जो slabs है वो consider की जाती हैं for the startup and as per their excises of the market value, right? So this tax is applicable on individual investors and venture capital fund. जो VCF होते हैं उन पे भी applicables होती हैं. 39% of the startup of 2,860 were surveyed for the local circle, and they have received IT notice for this year, right? So angel funding around for 2017, 2016, you can see these are the number, and these are the deals for the quarter that has been there, right? Now government is coming up with the regulations. Now इस regulations के through IT rule में changes की गई है और कोशिश ये की जाएगी जो startups हैं they should come up and they should have more establishment in our country. Now ease of the provisions की गई है. Government ने कहा है that they will be introducing some changes, and this changes was actually brought in the year's budget investment, जहाँ पे startups और non-resident investors को premium over fair market value में भी relaxations देने की बात की गई है. And angel tax, as I've told at the beginning, at present this is at 30%, right? And the new rules will be effective from the part 25th of September. इस साल से ही इसको applicable होनी है. And there's something that government will come, that the introductions with 5 different valuations will be there, offering 10% of the tolerance from the deviations that will be there on the acceptance of the state valuations. So more clarity will be there from the government and implementations honi hai, and the things will definitely help the startups that is there in India. Now, Lancet report on gender and cancer treatment. This is something the Lancet Commissions has come up with the report, और उनकी cancers को लेकर के specifically India में finding बताई गई है that how we can prevent the disease in India. So there is a detailed finding which is coming from Lancet. Lancet is a reputed journal when it comes to the medical science. Their journals are taken into consideration across the globe. So what was the finding? So first, it had the title of the report is about the women, power and cancer. And the report highlights something important, that there's a lack of awareness. I mean, in lack of awareness, the people are actually not aware what to do. So awareness की कमी है. उसके अलावे absence of expertise at the primary level. So this is specifically with regards to the hospitalization that is essentially required. और अगर बात करें body checkup की, this is something which is also very essential. So body checkup must be done by each and every individual. हर एक साल में हर एक इंडिविजुअल को एक बार बॉडी चेकअप करवानी चाहिए, so that they can come to know कि क्या ऐसे प्रॉब्लम्स उनके बॉडी में. Delayed and access to the cancer preventions, detections and care. So if you're going by the body checkup, this will definitely help to get an idea what exactly the situation is. And societal apathy towards the women health. These are some of the points that were highlighted in the report, that these are some of the things that provoked the part of delaying the treatment in the cancers. Now cases in India में अगर बात करें, Lancet ने रिपोर्ट किया है कि अगर इंडिया में जो कैंसर की ट्रीटमेंट है, that is nearly on the part of 63% of the women cancer death due to the part of prevention, risk detections or screening or diagnosis actual में जितनी होनी चाहिए वो नहीं है. 37% could have been averted with the timely treatment. So if you are having a timely treatment, if you visit to doctor, if you consult doctor, if you go by the diagnostic, you will be able to identify what are the problem that is existing. 6.9 million preventable cancer death हुए हैं इंडियन वुमेन के साथ, जिसको भी प्रिवेंट किया जा सकता था. 4.3 million treatable cancer deaths were also reported. So definitely these figures and data are astonishing. We definitely need to ponder upon and think that how we can, the part of the things that can be saved upon. Now, अगर बात करें स्पेसिफिकली जो सबसे कॉमन कैंसर है इंडिया में अमंग द वुमेन इज ब्रेस्ट कैंसर एंड दीज आर द डेटा फॉर द स्टेट्स फॉर एवरेज 31.3 दीज आर द एवरेज और कौन कौन से ऐसे कारण हैं जो प्रोवोक करते हैं फॉर द breast cancers के लिए specifically aging is a one factor, obesity is the another, excessive consumptions of alcohol, excessive use of tobacco and family history. This is something that has to take the change in the DNA so take place. और कुछ ऐसे factors है जो decrease करते हैं physical activity if you are not doing this provokes weight controls. ये ऐसे चीजें हैं. If you're doing the physical activity more, you will be less prone to breast cancer, right? Weight control is very important. So your BMI, which is the body mass index, must be in control. So the normal BMI must be 24 और ये between 24 to 27. It should not exceed 27. इसके ऊपर आपकी अगर BMI है then you are obese. Avoidance of tobacco and prolonged breastfeeding is something that is advisable to reduce the part of breast cancer in India. Now, moving ahead with the editorial of the day. This editorial talks about the climate change and the disease that has erupted with the part of the climate change. See, whenever we are impacting our nature, the mother nature is something, the reward is given in terms of disease and the other part of the climatic calamities which is there. So the new age climate change has brought the change in the disease scenario. We'll see the details and understand the editorial. This is written by Pramod Roy and Mr. Raji. We'll see the details, what they have to talk about. So the issues that is there, first we'll see the climate change, how it is infections are increasing with the change of the climate change, surveillance and reporting and the way forward. Now, in the latest report which was released by the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change ने एक रिपोर्ट रिलीज की थी जहां पे उन्होंने बताया था कि जिस तरह से क्लाइमेट चेंजेस में चेंजेस आ रही हैं, if you see climate change, it has been a topic which has not been talked about. तो क्लाइमेट चेंज की अगर बात करें, इसके सिर्फ कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज एनवायरमेंट में नहीं है बट कि हमारे हेल्थ में भी है, राइट? सो द हेल्थ कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज आर ऑल्सो देयर, जिस वजह से काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम देखी गई है. और कुछ अगर नेगेटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज की बात करें, सो दीज आर द नेगेटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज, दैट इज द डिस्ट्रप्शंस इन द डिजीज पैटर्न, making mosquito borne outbreak irregular, affecting transmission cycle and vector borne disruptions. Now, heat has been proven as an interference for the part of the genomic structure, pathogens changing in effectivity and the virulence. So how the climate change has resulted in more infection, we'll see the details. See, agar habitat loss ki baat kare, habitat loss is evident. Now, habitat loss is something which is there whenever there will be high rise, there will be change in the climate. जो climatic conditions है, high temperatures की वजह से habitat loss something which is inevitable, right? It has also led to the part of risk of pathogen transferring to human, potentially causing deadly infections. इसके classical example आप ले सकते हैं Nipah virus which was recently reported in Kerala, right? केरला में report की गई है जहाँ पे 4 death report किए गए थे and total number of cases was 6. It is increasing day by day, but as of now there is a situation which is controlled. एंड इवन टू लार्जर एक्सटेंट इस चीज़ को रिपोर्ट की गई है नेशनल क्लाइमेट चेंज में, जहाँ ये बताया गया है कि इस तरह के इन्फेक्शंस बढ़ेंगे अगर क्लाइमेट चेंज होती रही. एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो नोन दैट द डिजीज अफेक्टिंग ह्यूमन कैन वर्सन विद द पार्ट ऑफ द क्लाइमेट चेंज. इफ वी आर इम्पैक्टिंग देयर विल बी ऑलवेज अ नेगेटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज दैट अ ह्यूमन हैज टू सी, राइट? न्यू ट्रांजिशंस will emerge in terms of environmental resources, the part of the medical tourism, contaminations of food and water. See, the part of interchange things that is also resulting in adding on the pathogens. तो हमें हर सारे चीज़ों को कंट्रोल करने की ज़रूरत है, and the best way is to come up with the preventive measures and awareness among the people and the society. Now, सर्वेलेंस एंड रिपोर्टिंग की बात की गई है. इंडिया ने इस चीज़ को रिपोर्ट करने के लिए एक स्पेसिफिक मैकेनिज्म बनाया है, दैट इज known as IDSP, that is Integrated Disease Surveillance Program, and this was started in way back. और इसमें काफ़ी हद तक प्रोग्रेस देखी गई है, जहाँ पे 2008 में 55553 that is 553 केसेस रिपोर्ट किए गए थे. As of now it has increased to 1740. Now the disease scenario has changed and strategy need to have हमें डिटेक्शंस पे और प्रिवेंशंस पे काम करने की ज़रूरत है. We need to work on this context, right? इंटीग्रेटेड हेल्थ इंफॉर्मेशन प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च की गई 2018 में, जो कि एक्चुअली IDSP को जिसने हेल्प किया और ज़्यादा सपोर्ट किया फॉर द इंटीग्रेटेड डिजीज सर्वेलेंस प्रोग्राम. बट द डिजाइन सर्वेलेंस इज नॉट एडिक्वेट, वी नीड टू वर्क ऑन दिस, और इस पे काम करने की जरूरत है, विच यू कैन हाईलाइट इन द वे फॉरवर्ड ऑल्सो. Now, the way forward, what you can write, see, India is at this junction, जहाँ पे One Health और One Health जिस तरह से infections control programs उस पे काम करने की ज़रूरत है. We need to have a greater synergy between the center and the state government, and a coordination is required when it comes to the health infrastructure or health basic amenities, right? So these are the things that need to be worked upon. उसके साथ साथ convergence of animal husbandry, forest, wildlife, municipal and public health department require a specific path. Now there's need to establish a surveillance system which is there, and in the face of the part of the changing threat, the infections which is there, the protecting ecosystem, fostering collaborations and mapping the part of the health paradigm shift will be the best defense. So what government can do? First, the policy measures should be there. Policy measures में government can come up with the part of the preventive medicines which is there. और इसकी reachability not only for the urban area, it has to be reach out to the rural area also, and we can work on the bottom up approach जहाँ पे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों को इसके benefits मिल पाएंगे, right? Now moving ahead with the answers and discussion for the yesterday questions. तो कल के जो पहली सवाल है उसका करेक्ट ऑप्शन है C. You can check what you have marked. Most of you are not participating. I humbly request, do participate. राइट योर आंसर, इसमें आपको रिविजन्स में भी मदद मिलेगी और बहुत हद तक आप कंटेंट को ग्रास्प भी कर पाएंगे, राइट? सो आई टॉक्ड अबाउट द पार्ट ऑफ धनुष, ये कुछ उसके करेक्ट ऑप्शंस है, सेल्फ प्रपल्शन यूनिट है उसमें, सो बोथ ऑप्शंस आर करेक्ट. यू कैन चेक दैट इट हैज 8 राउंड पर मिनट दैट रिक्वायर अ क्रू ऑफ 6-8 आर्टिलरीज. सो डू चेक आउट फॉर द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. सेकेंड क्वेश्चन के करेक्ट ऑप्शन है बी. दिस वॉज अबाउट द पार्ट ऑफ राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान पुरस्कार, and there the Vigyan Puraskar was awarded to recognize, encourage 45 year was exceptional contribution in science and technology. तो कुछ statement incorrect थे, कुछ correct थे. You have to check what you have marked as a correct option. Now moving ahead with today's MCQ, आज के जो सवाल हैं उसको देखेंगे, and you have to participate and write your answer in the comment section down below. So the first question is about the foot and mouth disease. So it is an animal borne viral disease that is highly contagious. It's spread through human with a direct contact with the sick animal, and there is currently no food and FMD की अगर बात करें किसी भी तरह की वैक्सीनेशन अवेलेबल नहीं. So do check out, these are the questions which is favorite for UPSC in science and technology. जनरल साइंस में सवाल कई हद तक पूछे जाते हैं. The other news, other question, that is Sword Temple. It was constructed during the Pallava dynasty. It has been named by UNESCO World Heritage Site. So you have to check for the correct option, and you have to participate by writing your answer. You have to choose whether A, B, C or D is the correct option. So do participate, write your the correct answer in the comment section down below. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other queries, concern about the test series, program, and other admissions related queries, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time.